Sing, O goddess, sing of the chaos that dominated before the calming of the cosmos. Sing of the abyss, and the swirling matter that raged like the roiling ocean. A time of no up, no down, no sky, no land, no sea, no air. In such primitive, unending days, the tides of change could not be held at bay for long. Sing of the egg of creation, of the twins that it birthed, Gingel the great sacrifice, and Genon of the bountiful earth. From the endless churn of the ocean of chaos, by chance, some say, by design others claim, there arose an egg. Some even claim that there were 3 eggs, or maybe more. But how can we say the truth of these things? However many there were, the one that concerns this tale was no normal egg, but filled with all the matter of the world yet to be, gathered by the restless, writhing rise of the current of chaos. Within the shell of the ovum, the twins who would so tragically make our world first took form. Gingel, the great sacrifice, and his sister, Genon of the bountiful earth. From the moment of their first awakening, strife and conflict was seeded. Genon grew to love her home, the plentiful matter of all creation, contained within the protective shell of the egg. Within, she could craft and mould and conceive new things to test her skill and the limits of the substance of the cosmos. Earth and rock, sky and air, the waters of the restless ocean, all were formed by Genon's careful hand, a labour of devotion which would have seen eons pass if time had yet come to be. Whilst Genon worked, Gingel observed, at first out of a curiosity and a desire to understand the designs of his sister. But as Genon repeated and repeated her work, honing her skills and refining her craft, Gingel grew tired and ever more restless. To him the egg was a prison, its shell a barrier to the unexplored, unending beyond, and a mad desire overtook him to see what lay outside the limits of his world. After eons of sitting, observing, and brooding on this thought, he rose and declared with the first words ever spoken, "Enough of this, dear sister. Your craft and creation may satisfy your needs, but I have a desire to see beyond the limits of our containment and venture into the great unknown." This announcement was not enough to draw Genon's attention from her work. Not until Gingel began to move did Genon take her eyes from her latest craft, something she had not done since the dawn of their existence, and reply with frightful words, the first to ever form in her mouth. "Dear brother, no! To stride beyond our limits, you would needs must break the egg, an event that would see my efforts come to naught. My creations would fall to nothing, and the material of creation would be scattered and broken across the empty void. Such an action would break me. You have had your time, dear sister, but there is more to creation that I must explore. Forgive me." Mustering all his strength, Gingel charged the walls of his prison, bursting through the boundaries of the shell, into the swirling mass of chaos beyond, to seek out the unknown and discover all there was to know. In his wake, the egg shattered, and the matter of the cosmos was scattered throughout the ocean of chaos. Genon screamed and cried, for her world was broken, her tools of creation splintered and strewn. Desperately, she struggled to stop the diffusion, gathering all she could back into her grasp. But alas, her efforts were futile. The force of the shattering was too much. The earth that she had nourished for eons was blown into dust. The air and sky that she had nurtured was dissipated into the swirling mist, and the water of the ocean she had so carefully seeded turned into a hissing steam and soared into the nothing of the void. Broken and dismayed, for what would be in our terms many eons, Gennon sat and sobbed. For many epochs she lay in silence. For a further age she seethed in fury. In the end, the bond of kinship with her twin was broken. She arose from her brooding slumber to seek out what matter she could, declaring, "I will rebuild what you took from me, brother, a place to call a home, and ensure that such destruction can never be wrought again. Revenge, dear brother, is all that is left between us." To her she gathered all the matter she could find, dispersed as it was throughout the chaos of the void. High and low she hunted, across swirling mists and endless empty plains. Some even claim she broke the other eggs to claim their material for her work. For 3 ages she laboured. In the charged atmosphere of the first, she worked, and from her efforts were born the Xosu, 3 daughters of the saffron skies, mesmerising and beguiling, magnetic in their gaze. The second age saw 3 more daughters sired, the Thelon, less elegant than the first, but powerful and relentless. The final age saw the coming to being of the Kulon, less powerful than their sisters, but more intricate in their art. 9 daughters in all, each imbued with the wrath that Gennon felt for her wayward twin. When the work was finally done, Gennon addressed her daughters. "My progeny, my children, my daughters, you must aid your mother now. If we are to build a home, a place to call our own, safe from the dangers of the void and the chaos that threatens to engulf us, then there is only one way that we can acquire what we need. One who we must destroy. One who has already wounded me beyond compare. One who took everything I held dear. I beg of you now, help me in this quest, and we shall have peace, plenty, and safety." Throughout these eons, Gingel had explored the depths of the oceans of chaos, the heights of the swirling nothing of the void, and the widest reaches of the plains of pandemonium. His appetite for exploration was not satiated, though. Still he searched high and low for more to see and more to learn. This desire would be his undoing, and see the making of our world, for Gennon's revenge would exploit this lust. At their conception, the Xosu were the most alluring beings yet in existence. Their sweet scent and saffron colours a marvel in the nothingness of the void and the swirling mass of chaos. It was natural, then, that Gingel would be drawn to seek them out, and doing so was his mistake. As Gingel wandered, hunting down the next thing to explore and to learn, he spied an alluring presence. 3 maidens dancing in the distance with a saffron shimmer that intrigued him. He set off in pursuit, eager to learn what these shadows were, as it was something he had not yet seen in all his travels. Like spectres and demons, wraiths and shades, the maidens drew him ever onwards, but each time he grew near they would vanish in an amber mist. Ever deeper into the writhing ocean of chaos they led him, until Gingel found himself back at the centre of his cataclysm, the place where the egg once dwelt. There he was confronted by Gennon and her children. There, with a laugh of violent vindication, she declared, "Now, dear brother, you have had your time to seek and explore. Just as you deprived me of my heart's desire, the one thing that gave me pleasure, so I shall rid you of your ability to roam, wander, and seek." The Xosu appeared before him, in all their beguiling beauty. From behind, the Thelon appeared, and seized him, as the Betikulon rose from the chaos and caught him in a firm embrace. Together, Gennon's daughters bound Gingel to the spot, and Gennon spoke again. I will remake the world that you stole from me, from the matter of your very being, binding you to my new world, my great conception, so that you can never commit such reckless destruction again. A grand sacrifice to make the world anew. They fashioned earth from his flesh. From his blood poured the oceans. His bones rose into mountains, and his hair grew into trees. His brains they scattered through the new sky to make the clouds, and they took his skull to craft the heavens that preside over all. Gennon took her place at the heart of her new creation, her great conception, the world we now know as Kolgennon. Of Gingel we know no more, though his wild desires, the forces that overwhelmed him, have been imbued in our world as much as the wants and needs of his twin. The land is ever threatening to tear itself apart, the earth prone to shake and struggle, the oceans to wash over the land, and the sky seeking to smite the trees. In man, we see the results of this everlasting tension between the twins. A desire to build and create, to nurture house and home. But deep within us there is a surge of force that urges us to explore, to push boundaries and challenge the old. And of course, within us all there is the ability to destroy.